Hello, hello, hello. I am Terry B. Jones coming to you live on today. Just want to share with you the second email that you would have as a follow-up in your email campaign when you have a new product or service to introduce to your email subscribers. Okay, and so in order to have email subscribers, first you have to have an email autoresponder. Okay, and so I'm here every Wednesday sharing with you what I call Chit Chat Cash, which is using the email autoresponder to communicate with those who have decided that they're interested in your product or service, and maybe they bought something at the time that they got to your website or your Facebook page or wherever you are on social media, or maybe they did not buy your product, but maybe they got a discount, maybe they got a freebie or some a chapter of a book or whatever it service that you may have, and you offer to them a free consultation. Okay, so those are just some of the things that will get people to give you their name and email address, right? And so I have a new product that I was sharing the first email last week, where you guys saw where I have a new board game that I will be having coming out. Okay, and so because the people that are on my list, well, I have several different lists, okay, but this one particular list is the one where I have a kneeling prayer pillows, okay, and that is the one that I am sending emails to a market of people that I already have bought things from me, okay, and so I'm sending to them saying, hey, look, I have something new that I'm bringing to the table, and I just want you to know about it. I want you to prepare, to receive it. And so, they've already been hearing from me. They're already interested in my product already. And so now that I have a new product, I can actually generate another stream of income. And that's the beauty of email marketing. Okay. Email marketing is where you're not only able to sell something once, because when somebody comes to your website, they click on it, they buy, and they go away. You don't want that to happen. You want to get that name and email address so that you can continue to communicate with them, okay? And so basically, letter 2 on today, as the subject is there a better way? Okay? And the reason I chose this is so that's curiosity, right? If you got an email with that, and you're wondering, like, is there a better way for what? Okay. And so, it's going to make you want to open up this email. And so you too can use the same subject line that I use with this second email, but you use it for your product or service. Okay. Last week I had you to create the subject line of alert, new product. Okay, and whatever your new product was, right, pertaining to your business, so that they'll know. My subject line was create a prayer pillow new product, because they're like, okay, I'm familiar with create a prayer pillow. People get emails all the time, and so you want to make sure that when they see your email, they know who it's coming from, and they're okay with opening it, okay, instead of just scrolling past it, right? Okay, so today's email talking about is subject line is there a better way? Okay. Now, I want you to listen to this, and then, like I say, you can also reach out to me and say, hey, you know what? I want to create a letter with this subject line and change up the content, okay? Because you can change this content up to match your product or service that you are introducing to your clients, okay? And so it says, here's the thing. I had no idea how much time and research goes into creating a board game. It is a very involved process, but worth it, okay? And so now I'm letting these people know, you know what? Hey, I told you last week that I was creating a board game, and then now as I'm really digging into this thing, like, wow, man, it is a lot involved. It's a lot of work, and there's a lot involved. I'm in uncharted territory, really, okay? And so that's how they're going to read. It's like, because people want to relate to you. They want to feel what you feel. Is like, maybe they can do something to help, and so this is why this letter is constructed in this manner. All right. And so it's like, well, you know what I'm talking about. You're constantly trying to figure out ways to help those in your congregation, your Sunday school class, or youth ministry. Try new ways to learn the Word of God quickly, and find scriptures and commit to studying the Bible on a daily basis. Of course, I can go on and on, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So let me ask you this. What if I could show you a different way? Okay, so I think they'll keep reading once they hear that, right? And then I say, you see, over the last few months, I have become very focused on being successful in my gift of teaching others to use the Bible, but not by doing what everyone else does. So now you're saying, hey, look, I'm being different with what I'm about to share with you. So yeah, they'll keep reading, right? And then the next sentence says, in fact, if you've been following me for long, if you've seen any of my products, books, my social media posts, or seen what I've done over in the youth and adult ministries with creativity and innovative ways of teaching, you'll likely agree that I do things differently. Okay. My trainings are different. My curriculums are different. My creativity and love for the Word of God is evident. Okay. In all that I do. Anyhow, I have created a new board game to help families, churches, groups, etc. keep the Word of God in the forefront of all they do while learning the Word and creating memories in the spirit of fun. I call it Church Grower, a Bible trivia game to grow your church or backslide. And since I've already had some beta testers over the last few days, I feel good about moving forward with getting it manufactured. I won't repeat myself and bore you with all that goes into this process here, but I do suggest that if you want to try your wits at this game during my Game Growers Bible Trivia Game Night, sign up to be the first to know the details of it and change the current pattern of how you're teaching your youth. Okay? And while you wait, go here and grab your seat, and then I'll put the link, to where they can sign up, to be a part of this game night. And then I'll put some urgency. Hurry, there's only 15 seats left, and you rock. All right. And so that's pretty much, what I've created as a letter. Now you too can go and model this same letter, okay, with your product or service. And I want you to share in the comments, say, yes, I went ahead and created my second email. Okay. Last week was the first week. This is the second week. And I want you guys to really, start thinking about every week creating a letter so that you can at least have 52, emails in your email responder, communicating with your subscribers. Because if you don't continue to communicate with them, guess what? They're going to forget about you. And then when you finally, get something that you want to bring to the table, you want to earn some extra money or whatever it is you want to do, but you haven't been communicating, and they see your email and all it is just selling something to them, then yeah, you may not get that email open. Okay. And so if you have any questions about creating an email campaign for your particular product or service, or even about how to set up, your actual email autoresponder with the letters, because it's one thing to create the letters, because I created mine in Word, because I like creating my stuff up front. I'm a content creator. I don't want to wait to after the fact and create these things. I want to create these things up front, so when I get ready to put them in my autoresponder, I have all of it ready. I don't want to have to be going and trying to figure out, okay, what I'm going to do next, all right? And hopefully you're the same way, all right? Efficiency, all right? And so anyway, I'm Terry B. Jones, coming to you live again with another email marketing chit chat cash strategy to grow your brand reach and revenue using email marketing. Until next Wednesday, continue making that chit chat cash.